Yo, good afternoon. Welcome to actually another really rando-filled day today. Link to the Past randomizer main tournament. We have a MC boss shuffle for game 2 between matt7898 and Kaede. Almost what? Something like under a day's worth of difference between game 1. We actually see hopefully soon on the scoreboard. Kaede actually did take game 1 off of Matt. Very fast standard boots seed yesterday. A bit heartbreaking, I believe. Runners would really like to see that either sword, silvers, or lamp for that matter for Ganon. So hopefully we're gonna add some spice here for some MC boss shuffle. I am Claire Mouse. Joined with me is the Walter Fourth. How's it going, Walter?
Yeah, it's going good. I mean, we got the spice already with the MC shuffle, right? It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. It's kind of an awkward mode. I feel like most people have a consensus about that, but it does tend to give you some kind of like different scenarios that you know.
No. So MC Boss Shuffle is certainly one of the I would consider to be one of the most volatile modes in the 5 modes that we have for the main tournament. Only because in this case, as we kind of it has some aspects of Enemizer in that the bosses not only of course are shuffled, we also don't know what the boss is going to be until we find the compass, which are also wild somewhere. So when we enter in Easter Palace, you may not necessarily want to make the investment to go all the way back there, and of course Matt might have a bit more of a personal vendetta against MC Boss Shuffle, just because in his first series versus Tyler, I believe he also lost his MC Boss Shuffle to a surprise Trinex upstairs, and well, then that's really when you get to feel the impact of where is the ice rod.
Yeah, Trinex upstairs. It's kind of like find a big key on torching in his tower.
Yeah,
It's happen, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just basically try and you hope you're in go mode until you find out that it's like the one slim chance basically that you're actually not in go mode.
Other than you have to climb the half of the tower.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's like last possible spot too. Yeah. All right, looks like that we already got started. Both runners are going to do sync start. Kaede is going to go scout the lumberjack. Got a nice bomb drop from the enemies. Matt though decided to skip this check, but we found the moon pearl already. In the mushroom spot. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, you're always gonna get it somewhat early, but it's just like it's nice to get it out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and actually, early Pearl, I mean, I guess, it certainly depends on where the other types of enemies are, but it does actually let you water walk. That's actually kind of like a nice minor glitch available, potentially. Whereas maybe you're more willing in this case to go over to, to do like the water checks, right? Like Hylia, or Waterfall, and Zora, versus, before maybe you weren't as willing because you would have to kind of leave Waterfall. Matt might also die, by the way, going into Kakariko.
Yeah. Well, he made it in, but he doesn't have any bombs yet. Looks like he's gonna go for a blind well here.
Yeah. So maybe he can use a little bit of his luck in order to, as you said, find some bombs. Otherwise, we are gonna have to double dip this. We already found a shuffled map to Thieves Town. We have more than enough bomb money. Oh, look at that! Look at that lamp.
Well, at least he got the money to buy the bombs now.
That's probably the most important part. Is we can actually even put bottom laner. Maybe I was gonna say maybe the bottom laner just have bombs for us. No, but we're gonna that's actually a really nice compass to have. So obviously, in addition, of course, to the great feature that compasses inherently let you have in key sanity or map shuffle mode types of things, is that they give you a dungeon counter. But also specifically for boss shuffle, they also let you see what the boss is at the end of the dungeon. So don't have to do the 2-minute investment in order to get back there, in order to kind of see what Plot has. Oh wow, though Kaede, well, he's rewarded with getting bombs here in Blind's Hut. And an immediate ice rod. Oh wow! Suddenly, this speed doesn't look as bad.
Yeah, I mean, early ice rod, early lamp. I guess nothing can stop Matt now.
Yeah, that's right. I was also even wondering maybe if we can, maybe this is going to be, some hints of an Agassi. We are missing, a good amount of other things like a cape or a sword. Things would be very nice, but that lamp certainly does make things a heck of a lot nicer, just in terms of just dungeon overall traversal.
Yeah, for sure. Matt's gonna double dip the well here. Unfortunately, he didn't go for blindside that had bombs,
Yeah,
but I think it
exactly.
makes
Yeah.
sense to go for the well. It's faster to double dip than blindside is.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, yeah. Because right, and especially like you have to go through all those like screen transitions, right? You gotta go all the way downstairs. You gotta get the things, and then if you don't see anything, you have to come all the way back, right? There is no like mirror out of Blind's Hut or the overworld. Unfortunately, you gotta walk back. So yeah, it certainly makes a lot of sense. It just happens to be, you can't help how the items are placed.
Kind of an empty Kakariko overall. But I guess
So
that's
far,
a little bit more expected in this game mode with more items in dungeons.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's actually a very good point about the mode. Because this map compass shuffle, the maps and compasses are taken out of the dungeon, so you automatically have a +2 to every dungeon counter, right? So Eastern instead of 3 having 5, Pine instead of 5 having 7, right? Yeah, the dungeons are certainly much more lucrative. On the one hand, like, so you certainly makes you want to dive dungeons more, but on the other hand, right, because the bosses are shuffled, you're maybe slightly more hesitant to go over to some places because what if there's just an Argus in the back of pod, right? Or, something like that. Like, and you can't beat it, because you don't have a hook shot. It's like, it slightly deters you. Yeah, so there's actually kind of like a very fine balance between, I guess, what you want to do. Alright, but yeah, so Matt, whether he was peeved or not from getting the bombs from Blind's Hut, looks like we actually are going to skip the race game and a library check on his side as well. Just, and as you mentioned before, like, it makes sense because he kind of basically had to, double dip. Poor Matt. We're just gonna put those bombs back, by the way. Yeah, but like, because he did Kakariko basically like up to bottom to up again. Like, he doesn't want to take another trip down just to go check library and maze race. Very very
that makes
understandable.
sense.
Kaede
It's gonna miss a
actually.
blue mail because of that, but then again, like it's quite possible one could just skip that blue mail anyway. It's not required. It's nice, especially with shuffled bosses. It's nice to have early on, but it's nothing required.
Yeah, no, that's actually like a very good. Also, I mean, even though these guys are top 16, at this point, right? Obviously, very very skilled runners can handle pretty much anything. There is really, as you mentioned, because it's specifically map compass like boss shuffle, things can get a bit dicey. Like, you might be used to, especially Matt 124 and MG runner, quite used to having a tempered sword for a lot of bosses, like even like Mothula, right? But once you put in this case like Helma sword back there, all bets are off type of situation. Right? You're really gonna be pretty happy to have some extra defense. So it makes a lot of sense for Kaede to pick it up.
Like, even if it isn't like a safety issue, like just having that mail upgrade could be speed up some of those bosses because you can actively face tank.
Yeah, that's actually, I think, one thing that people have also kind of said, as well, is whether or not, like, for example, you have a bottle of the fairy, whether or not you actually use it doesn't matter, because unless you be so much more aggressive, right? Yes, face tanking something, purposely taking damage so you can get the iframes to get more hits in. Yeah, like, these are all very viable strategies, and you really can't do this with if you're suddenly on one-hit KO mode type of situations. And yeah, the blue mail is something very, very valuable. Matt, though, Matt, speaking of, he would really much like some sort of defense. The crabs would not have killed him in one shot, but it's not comfortable. We have Quake on the way, so certainly a potential valid medallion. We have no sword to use it with, but if we do get a sword, it actually could be also a good defensive weapon, offensive weapon as well. Especially in some of these types of situations, we actually see more usage of the medallions, just because it is a bit nicer. You're talking about kind of an empty Kakariko. We're also looks like kind of an empty South Shore as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just expecting Eastern area to have everything at this point.
Yeah, because I mean, so certainly, because this is also open mode, this is not standard, right? We do still have all of Escape kind of left within the light world, but yeah, in terms of density, Eastern Saha area is actually looking pretty good, and because we actually got the lamp pretty early, the vanilla Bicky chest in Eastern Palace is actually in Logic, because we, well, have the lamp. I mean, they may not want to go there, but, you know, it is available to them.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And speaking about escape as well, that lamp thing.
Oh yeah, that's also very true. All right, looks like, yeah. So Matt, I don't know if he talks to Sahad all that often, but you know, especially when maps are shuffled, you know, hey, look, there's the hammer.
And that's actually enough for Matt to save and quit here. So I'm guessing we're going front of escape here for Matt.
Yeah, looks like, yeah, permanent weapon. We've also got the ice rod actually, and we're gonna get a little bit more magic in the front of escape as well. So a couple of ice rod shots to kill the blue guards, plus like a permanent weapon for the hammer. Yeah, it makes things, you know, and as you said, like the lamp also does put Dark Cross and potentially even going all the way to the back of escape in Logic too, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, and
very linear start so far.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Very slow linear start so far. We have had no movement items so far. Not that I think I was terribly optimistic about finding some of these movement items, but you know, they're... Oh, you know what? We just found hook shot. Yeah, that 100% counts.
Yeah, it might not be the preferred movement option, but you know.
It is something that is true. It is certainly better than nothing, and it's also very good, especially for the light world. It's also a very good stun weapon as well, right? It may not necessarily be able to kill things. That's what the hammer's for, but sometimes you just gotta stun them. You know, you can go the pacifist route, right? You just gotta, you know, not have them interfere with your life. But meanwhile, we got actually, you know, we're actually seeing on Kaidi's side a bit more divergence. We are actually going into Eastern Palace. I think this is also very reasonable as well. There are, and you know, I think as you mentioned before, a bit more value, you know, just in dungeons, right? Because we have 2 more items, you know, at least in Eastern that's available to us. We at this point still need the bow in order to get back of Eastern, but you know, that's at least a more high density, and we're right here, right? You don't necessarily want to maybe walk again all the way over here if there tends to be something here. So I think it's also very reasonable from Kaede.
Yeah, I think both of these plays like about the same, I guess.
Yeah.
And especially now that you're only getting the hammer, you're relaxes.
Right. So, yeah, that's right.
I'm guessing,
we're still...
I'm guessing Matt is going to the castle hoping to be able to put Eastern the Dark World, where Kaede could go into Eastern, get an early, skip the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah. We did, by the way, I don't know if you necessarily caught that on Kaede's side, we got a map check, which is how you, in this case, see what the boss is, because we picked the compass to Eastern Palace. It is Trinex in the back. We don't know if it's a pendant or crystal, but that is one location of potentially 2 Trinexes that we're going to see in our seats today. But we already have the ice rod, so it's all okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay in the sense that we have the ability to kill Trinex. We may not want to kill Trinex. We are still swordless.
We get hammered.
Yeah.
Tempered
true.
Trinex, right? Yeah, it's nice. I mean, like facing off with a Trinex, that's kind of sucks. But you know, at least if you're prepared for it, it's fine.
Yeah. And actually,
and you don't have to go all the way to the boss.
Yeah, and actually, like, that's actually a very good observation too. Is that, like, so Kaede also gets a bit more knowledge coming over here to Eastern, right? Because like now, as you said, he now knows his Trinex. So then, so long as you come prepared for the fight, right? Maybe that actually will incentivize him to maybe, you know, if he sees another safety or something like that, you know, on his way, maybe he'd be more incentivized to pick it up, right? Just because he knows there's a Trinex fight coming, or eventually maybe. Yeah.
And it's also like this is potentially the only Trinex in the game, which like makes after Kaede finds the hookshot, makes it a lot more feasible to just go to a boss as well, because you're expecting to be able to do pretty much everything other than like a coaster at this point. Ooh, early boots, let's go. However, getting the float, he might not be picking up those boots for quite a while.
Oh yeah. Kaede, you know what? The decision to go to Eastern, especially Vanilla Biggie Chest, was actually a really terrible location
Yeah.
for those boots. He is very vastly rewarded because he's going to be able to dash through basically the the entire game until, as you said, we don't actually know when Matt is going to be able to go back to Eastern Palace. Maybe he'll wait for a bow. Maybe he'll wait for a fire rod, or like for something that would basically let him clear the dungeon in one single go. Yeah. On the other hand, I certainly, I very much, want the runners to have as much movement as possible. We're kind of actually seeing Kaede right now, really actually wanting an additional sword to kind of go with his boots. So right, as maybe also for some more context, Kaede and Matt also, well, Kaede specifically in game 1 played quite a bit of the seed without a sword, something like 40 minutes. Ended up having to spend quite a bit of extra time in Skull Woods just because, sometimes when like the bomb jump lineups or something, they're not as familiar without a sword. So
yeah, makes sense.
And also, of course, we just want to be able to dash, straight through, right? In order to, we don't have to necessarily want to keep like pausing, right? Every single time you redash is another 30 seconds, or yeah, not 30 seconds, 30 frames. Big difference.
Yeah. I like this route from Matt, by the way. Go back into CAC, taking the south way, and being able to check race game.
Yeah.
And that makes that track that you would have taken to take about as much time anyways, and you'll be able to use double C skip.
Yeah, it looks like also Matt, rightfully so, just following the logic, right? We're going to go basically up to the next set of density. We are here on Dark Death Mountain. Rescuing the old man, certainly very much in logic. We have a hook shot in order to get to Paradox, right? I mean, right now we're still kind of looking for our Dark World access, which is in the form of at least one glove. Maybe we'll get lucky and find both. Who knows up here? But yes, like this is certainly makes a lot of sense for Matt to kind of be chasing these high density areas. We know, of course, right, that there are the boots here in Eastern Palace that Matt, especially Middle Bicky Chest, may not get to. It is a common location to I really don't think they would skip it in MC Boss Shuffle because again dungeons are much higher value items, and the only thing that is guaranteed to be in the dungeon is the big key itself, right? So yeah, you don't really want to.
Yeah, that would be a much riskier skip. Yeah, I think the only way I see Matt getting those boots early would be if like Bonkro's having the glove. Otherwise, he's probably not getting it until he beats Eastern. Or
yeah.
visiting Pot or something like that.
Right, yeah. There are a lot of conditionals here, as you kind of pointed out. But they are certainly viable conditions. It's not like Matt will just like, for basically just never see the boots, for basically randomly again. But yes, it's certainly we need some help, but certainly the help is not unreasonable. Like, maybe Matt in this case will just have a mirror right here. Or a sword. You know what? A sword is wonderful.
It's extra nice when you have the boots, but I'll take a sword any days.
Yeah, exactly.
And Matt's actually going to be able to most likely clear his first dungeon.
Yeah, potentially, yes.
I guess it's only Cold Star.
Oh my gosh, there are two swords up here. Suddenly, our prospects don't look terrible. And we've already got Master Sword basically going to go into Dark Worlds.
Yeah, and I think the swords definitely give a bit of extra value in this game mode.
Yeah.
Random boss fights. Like, sure, you can use hammer against most boss fights, but it's not always convenient to use that.
Yeah, we've, especially in this case in this case we see Kaede having the boots. So he's going to be able to do at least a lot like nicer boots things, like for example, spin speed on Helma, right? So basically, kind of offset the hammer hitbox, and so at least we can get some temper sword damage. But yeah, otherwise though, if you don't have, I guess, some other technique to kind of help you with that, yeah, Master Sword might not necessarily be the most comfortable fights.
Yeah. You know, another thing that's good with the Master Sword this early, it does make it a lot more potential likely. I think that we have to do Aga, and I think if we have to do Aga, that's probably a scenario where Matt is going to.
Oh,
you get the boost early because of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, that is actually very viable out. Right. So suddenly, yeah, I think also Chad has also kind of mentioned this as well. Is the Aga possibility with 2 swords and the lamp is definitely within logic now. A very viable possibility. We have not seen any amount of the glove, especially even all after the Eastern stuff that we see on Kaide's side. But you actually do bring up a very good point. Does Matt want to just basically gamble Aga immediately after she's already done the front of escape? Or, Eastern does actually have a good number of items, right, in terms of density. If the glove is just there, like, you especially don't want to do boostless Aga, right?
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, that's unfortunate hookshot for Matt there.
That is, yes. It is only following at least 1 floor.
I'm wondering was he setting up some kind of was he? I guess it looked like he started setting up the bomb jump and then realized he had the shot. Or no?
Maybe I think maybe just forgot.
Yeah, I think he started setting up the bomb jump because he had hook shot. I'm actually surprised he's or they Hera like this at all, actually. Maybe I forgot about that in the lobby.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes boostless execution, so like you're here usually used using with the boots here. Sometimes, when like even like the smallest things, right? You just kind of like fall back to autopiloting. Sometimes you forget.
Yeah.
We can beat the boss at Hera. It is our potentially one of 2 Moculas. Significantly easier in this particular case when he's not in his regular arena.
Ooh, that's a small key. So we do have something in the place. Very surprised if Matt skips that.
Yeah. We do have a fire source, which is that lamp that lets us do the basement. You think Matt's gonna stick around?
I think in this scenario you do.
Yeah.
If there's something there, you're gonna have to take a slow way back.
Yeah. That's actually a very good point. And Matt's also kind of ending like the rest of his route here, right? Like he's already done all the spiral caves, done all the paradox, but as you mentioned, if something's here, we have to come back basically as the last location. It is such a painful last location because
especially like not having Dark World access yet. Like if he had Dark World access, I could definitely.
Yeah, but so Kaede is actually just kind of following suit. All of it makes a lot of sense. Kind of the chasing, very similar mentality in terms of high density. Finished up Paradox, got his 2 swords. We're gonna do Hera now. Maybe if we get the book, that will also open up Desert, maybe leading Matt a little bit farther away from Eastern than what we like. But at least we can check either tablet. That was the right side.
Yeah, I'm guessing Matt didn't do spiral cave yet. It looks like
actually it's a good point. I don't think. Yeah, I think you're correct. I think that. Oh yeah, that would have been pretty bad. I think it maybe is not as bad like in like these types in not like tournament hard when you don't have as many heart pieces, but like every time you see a heart piece, right, it's just like, oh my gosh, I do not want to refill right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like actually it looks like you're right. Matt only did Paradox. I think Kaede also only did Paradox as well. So no Spiral Cave also makes a lot of sense. You don't want to climb.
And this is like only these couple of transitions going back and forth through Hera and like doing Spiral Cave, like that alone with boots, like
no.
You start earning seconds here and there, and like it adds up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and Spiral Cave, as you said, that is something that is, quite notable in terms of difference, right? You kind of see Matt. I'm sure he's pumping every single frame that he's moving, but it cannot compare. But good thing we didn't skip it because there's our glove. That is our Dark World access. That is great news for both Matt and Kaede. That is maybe less good news for Matt in that we do not gonna get the boots.
Yeah, that's awkward, but I mean, probably getting the boots later, but yeah.
Soon. Hope you. I'm hoping. I still have hope.
Bow
But
and mirror would be like, I
oh, that
I
would be
imagine would be
amazing.
Matt to get somewhat early.
Yeah, no, that would actually be quite amazing. I mean, Matt may end up going over to Pod anyway. I'm not actually, just because, again, like, there are, 2 more items per every dungeon, so it's definitely higher density. But as you mentioned, it would be really great if he can go there with the mirror, so we can go to Eastern as well.
Oh, there's the bow.
Speaking of a bow.
Because oh no.
Oh.
I got hyped because I saw the bottle. Oh, now you can bottle glitch as well, but no.
True.
That's not exciting anymore.
Oh, and Pod is a crystal. I think we're going to right. So I did remember we picked up the compass to Pod as well. So right now, right, in terms of the bosses we can clear, we do not have a fire rod, so Trinex is certainly out of the picture, even though we do have the other rod, which is the ice rod. We have a hook shot, so we can kill Argus. We have, a bow and hammer, so we've got some good offensive power. So yeah. Matt may actually be comfortable enough, kind of like going into Pod and basically just, just traversing the dungeon.
Yeah, so. For sure. And I guess like not having the mirror might not be the end of the world for Matt as well. We do have the flute, so it's like
right. Yeah.
Back to Eastern.
Yeah, and actually coming back to Eastern, honestly, even if you don't combine it with Pod, is not the end of the world. It's like an extra, 15 to 20 seconds basically to flute back. And well, maybe a little bit more because you have to walk versus, run. But yeah, it's certainly not going to be, like super punishing. Although meanwhile, though, Kaede, it looks like without the fire rod, speaking of, we are maybe he's a Dunka believer, yeah, in that he is like here in Skullwoods, right in the front of Skullwoods. Oh, it's Vitreous. I guess. Are you going back there, Walter? I guess you are, right?
Yeah, I think Matt will go.
Okay.
And I mean, there's a lot of items in there. So you might get some.
Oh yeah, that's true. We can also get some safety. We can get a cape. We can get nice map. By the way, to Skullwoods. Hey, did you know Skullwoods is a crystal?
I mean, I do now.
Yeah, thanks, map. Oh, it looks like Kaidi is actually going to steal the key here as well. I was like, this isn't a key drop. There is nothing of value potentially. Oh, right, it's a vanilla small key. We could definitely use one of those in the front of Skullwoods. Yeah, we know, of course, if there was a magical mirror that happened to be in Pod, I believe Matt would be willing to at least enter in and take a peek into Eastern Palace. So there's certainly a big hope in this case. Not only, of course, the mirror would also help out a lot in Pod, just for dungeon routing purposes. Don't have to necessarily death warp the whole way through.
Yeah, I guess Matt never picking up that.
The blue mail, yeah, on race game, yeah, that's certainly, at least in this temporary moment, yes, has certainly helped him out a bit. He just, yeah, but I think as on the flip side, assuming he does go to Vitreous, he does just need to be a little bit careful of his health. He won't be in one-hit KO mode, but one of the consequences, I guess, of boss shuffle and Vitreous being in the back of Pod as opposed to, I guess, Mire, is that we don't have that goo that only does 1 heart of damage, right? That we can stand in and maybe, be a little bit safer. And we only just have like the Vitreous itself, which does 4 hearts. So.
I don't think we got really anything from Skullwoods.
From Skullwoods, yeah, I agree.
So we're clearing that first, going into Dark World. Kaede has set himself up for pretty much going the. That's a nice safety item.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Berna, you're never gonna go and play. Not also gonna be the end of the world, to kind of have it in a pinch as well. Maybe not necessarily the best item for safety for Vitreous, but again, so long as Matt's careful, then he should be okay. Unfortunately, not very much valued so far, though.
When you don't have to dodge or like when you don't have to worry about the goo from Vitreous, it makes it a lot easier to just get those.
Yeah. Those. Right, and the fact that we do have Master Sword, also maybe can help with the slashing. Like as opposed to if we were on Fighter Sword, it would be pretty painful. Yeah, but I think so far right, not very much value. I think still in the overworld or even some of this early dungeon stuff. Maybe Thieves Town. Okay, all right, that is progression, at least in terms of flippers. So that is there's something that there's something that Sammy can click on our buttons, for the trackers. Oh,
Hey,
talking
there's
about
another
second
one.
item. Yeah, there's another one. There's bombos.
Actually, low key, the hype because now you can beat Colster.
Yes, very correct. Yeah, not only of course can we beat Cold Stare as a boss, we can also maybe get into Ice Palace as well.
Yeah.
May not be the most desirable of locations because we do know it's Green Pendant. At least from my gosh, though, Kaede is found
Thieves
the
Town
mirror in Thieves Town. Yeah.
Back so far.
Wow. That also kind of looks like our Swamp Palace care package as well.
Yep, for sure. And I'm guessing with this being our Swamp Palace care package, this Coaster is going to be in this one as well.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So as I think you mentioned before, so Kaede kind of went all the way north. It looks like we are actually going to beat Thieves Town. It's just regular Armos. No bow means that Kaede is going to be a bit more creative. All of the items, by the way, that Matt has found, Burna, bow, would actually be really nice for Kaede right now, but unfortunately he didn't quite get there. But on the flip side, all the items that Kaede has found, mirror, boots, Bobos even for that matter, would be kind of nice. Matt would also really like to have.
Yeah, for sure. The sword beams are pretty nice against that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you actually kind of saw, like, in this case, like Kaede also knows that, right? And trying to basically keep, using sword beams as much as possible. Gonna save all of his basically ice rod shots for the end. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah, I'm trying to actually think in this case how many items we found in the front. We found flippers, we found bombos, we found the mirror, and then we actually found item on blind, or whatever, on Armos. So I think there's only one item left. Yeah, pretty hard sell at this point to just do the back for one item.
Yeah. There would have. Wouldn't there still be 3 items in the back? There's only the small key.
You're right. Yeah. So right, Thieves Town started with 4, and we only saw 4 items, right? Yeah. So there would be 2 items. 2 items in the back, right? 4 items regularly, and then you take out 2, and then you add 2 because of back compass.
Right.
Yeah.
We found the big key, so they only in like the engine item left.
Yeah. Thank you, Lamp, by the way. Always kind of nice to have. Especially, I think, without boots, without really kind of anything else, doing pod in the back here, no fire rod, nothing really kind of else to help you is not necessarily the most pleasant of experiences. All right, Matt knows this was coming. Yep. And we're gonna just put this cane to sparkly usage.
Yeah, that's
it
hurts my soul a little
bit.
Because it looks like he's getting like maximum lag. I don't know, maybe spikes adds a bit of extra lag here.
I believe I saw someone in chat actually mention that they would like some more Links to the Past randomizer content. You know what? We are getting as much vitreous content as we can.
Yeah, at least the it's kind of scary, but it's also nice. Those is pushing vitreous into the spikes, making vitreous extra damage. But it can be a little bit scary because sometimes it bounces.
Yeah, it's just slightly right. It's just like slightly kind of like unpredictable, right? And you just because you're kind of used to certain cadence, right? With like shooting your bow and all that stuff. And so if you kind of like get maybe off rhythm, actually, right, as you mentioned, it could be a lot of damage. Also, if it kind of catches you unprepared, right, vitreous still does a lot of damage. So, all right, here's all the great goodies in Hype Cave for Kaede, including his bow that he again would have liked to see. But he obviously took care of Armos very, very easily in the back of Thieves Town. All right, where are you going?
Might be getting a swamp play.
Yeah, on Kaede's side for sure. It looks like, that's right, we can do a quick as our feet can walk us over to Sikid. Just a small tip. Forget sick kid. He was never important. Looks like Matt, yeah.
Yeah,
This
Matt
makes
probably
this.
gonna do the same thing that Kaede did here. Minus
Yeah.
potentially skipping Skullwoods. I'm not sure how much Matt likes Skullwoods.
Yeah. Well, it was certainly so. At least in game 1, we saw him do basically all like Thieves Town, Village of Outcast stuff, and then head up to Skullwoods. But so in this case, maybe he's hoping this case he can find a fire rod. Also, I think it makes a lot of sense that I think Matt did an earlier map check. He did see that Thieves Town was a crystal, I believe. I think he had the map to that. We are never mind gonna go straight into Thieves Town. We're gonna go, or not Thieves Town, Skullwoods. This is gonna be the thing that loses the rallies. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe like this is gonna be a day that Matt believes that is gonna have value for him. Duncan's gonna help him pull through.
Yeah, it's hard to trust someone like Duncan. You never know like what he's.
What he's plotting. I know. He has a lazy kid too, like as his facade, right? So you really know, and you never know what that kid is thinking either. All right, but yeah, so we are here on Kaede's side. I don't think we did a map check, or maybe we don't even have the compass. It's very obvious we don't have the compass because there is no counter for items in Swamp Palace. We also looks like we also don't know if it's a crystal or
exactly. Yeah, it's what, like a 50-50 almost?
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Yeah. I mean, also like you're here.
I'm not sure if Kaede even talked to Saha as well.
Also,
I know Matt did. I'm not sure.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of items in here. We are skipping left side for now, which is interesting because in this game mode, left side will always have 2 items.
Yeah. But I guess like maybe he still thinks that we haven't found the big key yet, so maybe he thinks that he's still gonna come back. I mean, it's still gonna be another option. Like I don't know, maybe he's just planning on full clearing this and then just not wanting to take the risk of having the big key in the back here and then having to come back.
You have a lot of good items already from the initial trip into Dark World. So like if you get a lot of good stuff in the back, then maybe you skip it. If it's just empty in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, no big key so far. But I mean, yeah, but as you pointed out, though, like the things that we have actually gotten on Kaede's side, like I can't imagine he's feeling that terrible with his decision so far. I mean, like with the caveat that like one is that we don't necessarily know what either Matt or Kaede is thinking, and maybe like the default for the mentality is like I'm always behind, etc., type of thing. But Kaede's route so far has been quite good, right?
Yeah,
score the boots,
like all of the progression points.
Yeah, he scored the boots from Middle Big Key Chest in Eastern Palace, which is not a common location. We ended up finding 2 swords of Paradox with him to kind of go with that. He found the mirror in Thieves Town first, right? And these are all the things that he's gonna have over Matt when he goes into, in this case, like pod, right? Matt did bootsless, mirrorless pod. Where Kaede, is and not only that, he's also gonna Kaede also managed to dash all the way to Thieves Town, right? Just all really nice things.
Yeah, for sure. They get a big key on the boss here as well, but looks like we are gonna skip both the big chest and left side.
Yeah, so that's actually, I guess I was not paying attention. But yeah, actually, but that's 3 items, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. You have a lot of other stuff you can do, but it's definitely like a little bit scary.
Yeah.
What do we even need at this point? Like we're probably needing Red Cane. We're gonna need Fire Rod and Mitts for sure.
Yeah, right. So mitts look like mitts are always gonna be hard required, regardless of what your situation is, right?
We're definitely needing Fire Rod in the seed, and then Cane. Maybe like it depends. The both remaining pendants.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so right now we still are kind of needing some amount of more information, right? So we had, I don't think either runner talked to the bomb shop guy. I mean, it's certainly not as commonly visited, even in most for like MC Boss Shuffle, just because it is a bit more out of the way because you gotta go north and all the other stuff. But right, so we either need some more maps or we need some more pendant knowledge, or we would just go beat the dungeon.
Yeah, that works too. I mean, we are gonna get the knowledge pretty. Nah, never mind. I was gonna say pretty soon with Eastern, but no, that was the truth.
Yeah, sadly. All right, so okay, at least you know the good news is for Matt in that. So okay, we did get the mirror out of Thieves Town, and he's gonna get basically the rest of the stuff. I can't imagine him also wanting to do the back. Basically, he's gonna go basically straight to Armos. He's gonna have the bow at least over Kaede, so he's gonna be a little bit quicker of a fight. But you know he also didn't get to dash in Thieves Town that Kaede got to do.
Yeah, you win some years.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this is also just rando, right? In this case, you, depending on the sequencing and where the items are placed. Matt also getting a kind reminder that you should stand in the middle of the arena when you beat a shuffle boss.
Yeah, that's it feels kind of rude when you get that quick kill and then.
Yeah, you gotta shuffle yourself all the way back to the center. You know. Yeah, I agree. All right, but yeah, as you mentioned, we still do need like a couple more items, but I think the items that we're kind of missing are still like they're considered to be more or less like big ticket, right? Like for example, like mitts. If we could Gomo mitts, that would be amazing actually, because mitts just lock you out of so much. In fact, actually, for more or less, I think that's what Matt and Kaede got last seed was mitts go. I mean, essentially mitts go mode, which was actually again that's part of the reason why the seed was so fast was because. You didn't have to look at any mislock locations, which is like multiple dungeons, like overworld locations type of places.
So what do we have open at the moment? We have the flipper locations, pyramid and catfish. Is there anything else we have other than left side swamp and back of Thieves Town at this point? King's Tomb, I guess.
King's Tomb. We haven't done Spy Cave yet. That is another option. Yeah, I'm trying to think of this case of right. So I think Graveyard Ledge maybe was another location. Did you mention?
Oh yeah, right. Because we got mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, but regardless of you see in this case, a very reasonable thing, by the way, is to, in this case, Matt is, taking his route from, in this case, like north to south. We did a little bit of Skull Woods. We did all of Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town. And then Matt looks like he's just going to head over to Skull Woods. He's already done Hype Cave. But as we kind of saw, early on Kaidi's side, we got basically the Swamp Palace care package, right? We got flippers and we got mirror and we got we're gonna have hook shop basically, right? So, and there are a ton of items basically here in Swamp Palace.
Yeah. So the reason I was thinking about like potential locations, like the back of Thieves Town and then that combined.
Oh right, back of Thieves Town as well. Yeah.
I mean that combined is like pretty much as we have left in the.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like though, I mean, maybe this is just like the trend of the seed is we've got a lot of very sparsely populated useful items, right? Basically like a lot of Kakariko is a kind of empty pod, with so many checks open or available is also, we got burn out of it, which is, certainly not bad, kind of nice to have for a pinch, when we go fight Vitreous, but kind of empty, right? And then we had like Thieves Town, flippers, mirror, like bombos, like suddenly we it was basically just go to Thieves Town. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, front of Thieves Town more valuable than the whole location.
Yeah, that's right.
So where do you think Kaede will go after all this?
We're here in Pod. So good question. So we're here in Pod. He does have the... So, right, he knows for sure that he is not going to mirror over to do Eastern because he knows that there's a Trinex back there, and we do not have the Fire Rod. Also, we still don't know if Eastern in this case is a pendant or crystal, so that's kind of out of the question. But yeah, maybe. So, where do we list that was considered to be more high density?
I'm guessing like maybe flipper stuff because you can do that fairly quickly.
True. Yeah, we can float over to spot 8. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, so yeah, that was a solid kind of like chat. Maybe bring up that possibility earlier.
I guess with mirror, maybe you do.
Oh, would you make that investment to go to Catfish? I mean, so Catfish is, if you don't do it now, I don't know if you're ever gonna go back and do it.
Yeah. I mean, with boots at least, like not that. We're at the point in the game where it's like starting to get a little bit scary to start isolating too many things.
Yeah, that's also a good point as well. Yeah, so maybe you know, I think a very reasonable route for that you actually mentioned with the mirror, with the yep, just like that. Good, you know, good thing Kaede has blue mail. But yeah, once you, in this case, you the cadence of the ball kind of like in combination with the eye bouncing at you, once it gets off, right, it can actually be quite harrowing. But yeah, like, so I think maybe something that reasonable for Kaede is basically just go straight back in Dark World, you know, via Hype Wave, Light World, Hype Portal, Pyramid, Hobo, whatever, Hobo, Pyramid, Catfish, Graveyard Ledge, Catfish, and then, you know, mirror on do Zora Waterfall. Yeah, I think that would actually be quite efficient.
Oh,
I did not catch
quick confirmation of Eastern at least being a pendant.
Was a pendant?
Desert. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like Desert might have been a pendant too.
Alright. Kaede, at least his decision initially to skip Left Side Swamp was the correct one. Matt got 40 rupees that he could certainly do without for the seed.
Yep. Yeah, I would still have the big chest left.
Yeah, but unfortunately we got that in the back, right? Oh, apparently, yes, we have both 5, 6. Okay, so this is going to be even better for Kaede.
Yeah.
Even more efficient. Yeah.
And when you're at the pyramid, like, that's your opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see this case. He's just gonna go for it. We're gonna maybe get Hobo later. That's also fine.
Yeah, I mean, Hobo you can always like float to.
Yeah, maybe he'll also get it on the way back as well, because we have to, you know, get out of the pyramid, and it's not going to be the end of the world if we necessarily just like take a screen transition back. But or we'll just do it sometime completely separately as well.
Full heart. Oh.
Yeah, it looks like
pretty much like 2 heart containers when you have them.
Yeah, after I think the Vitreous scare, Kaede was not willing to probably take any more chances.
I mean, picking up a heart container is saves you a lot more time comparing to a death.
Yes, 100% agree. Very useless map, yes.
Looks like unless this is a King's Tomb Graveyard Ledge, it's gonna be a Catfish. Yeah, we're heading over here. We could still go back.
Yeah. I think this is also pretty efficient as well. Like, Graveyard Ledge, you know, is never going to be a common, like a fast location to go to. But yeah, combined with King's Tomb, we can just basically hook right over as well after this. So it could be pretty fast. Yeah. So this is actually very efficient routing here from Kaede.
Yeah, it's gonna this route is gonna pretty much clean up the entire Kaede.
Yeah, I mean, we can actually kind of see in this case, like, just how, in this case, efficient. And Kaide's also been nice shuffle. Kaide's also been playing quite well, right? I mean, but the fact that he is basically just tearing the seat apart, you know, early boots, early sword, extremely efficient routing, like, Kaede is actually doing quite well.
Yeah, and if there's nothing in the big chest of Swamp here as well,
yeah, Matt Matt definitely did not want to see that big key. I mean, like, you just want the item, and so, oh my gosh.
Okay, that's myths in Kingston. Well, that's interesting.
That
definitely
means
getting those boots at least.
Yes. That is a bit more concerning for Matt because if if the fire rod, for example, is here, this is actually going to be very, very nice for Matt, just because he's going to maybe have an incentive to go to Eastern. Maybe he feels more comfortable because you do have the bow now, right? He doesn't know what's in Eastern.
Yeah, at this point, like the only thing that could stop Matt from clearing it.
Yeah, right. I mean, like the Matt, I think part of the reason why he put it off for so long is because he basically kind of wanted to do that maybe in one go. Also, oh man, also Eastern's a pendant. That's right. We remember this. You mentioned this because Kaede did the map check. Maybe, you know what? Maybe that's enough for him to go back to Eastern now. Is he doesn't have to go fight the boss potentially, but pendant Eastern, man. Well, where else is Matt gonna go? Maybe he'll do the exact same light world stuff that Kaede did. The overworld stuff, I mean.
He will be able to pick up the big bomb right away here.
Oh,
but compared to Kaede, Matt will not be able to do Kingdom, so probably just continues that route up to Catfish instead. I mean, we're still looking for more items. Could be items up there that Matt needs.
True.
It's not gonna be the miss.
Yeah, that's also very true. Yeah, but as you mentioned, like we're gonna need the fire rod for sure, because we do need to get to the back of Skullwoods. Whether or not we need the fire rod to beat the boss doesn't matter. We need the fire rod as entry. Looks like we are gonna go find Ether as well. Yes. Yeah, so there's still a good amount of stuff that's still left for both Matt and Kaede to find. Yeah, Matt just, but in this case, yeah, so, but I think Matt, while he has been still boostless for the entirety of the seat so far, he has been at least very thorough. He has no gaps at this point. That's kind of left. Versus Kaede! Oh nice my gosh, that swings things in Matt's favor quite a ways. I mean, Matt is still certainly at, I would say, considered to be a deficit, but that was like the skip that Kaede had not checked. And given
honestly,
that he has
I didn't even realize you could do this with the big bow.
Oh yeah, because there's that really nice shallow water that basically lets you yeah. But yeah, like the fact that Kaede found the mitts right in King's Tomb kind of gives him a lot of opportunity in this case to go many places. And Hobo is already kind of low on people's priority list, and then it's.
I think with not having Kane as a Mario though, Kaede probably goes back there a little bit faster than otherwise.
Well, yeah, definitely
definitely has like a lot of kind of awkward options right now. You have Desert, that's a pendant. You have Ice Palace, that's a pendant without Maria. Like you can go into Mire, but you don't have the to beat it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it's also very reasonable to also just scout out the Maya area. Like we may need another medallion, for instance, right? That's going to be some good knowledge to have. He may choose to go in if he wants to.
We definitely need another medallion.
Oh, do we know Maya already, or?
No, but we know Ether.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, we it might be double Ether. Yeah, you're right. But it looks like it's just Quake today, so he does at least have the option of going in.
Hey,
we are very, very safe now. So whether or not Matt, wanted blue mail in his life, he probably will get it in Meyerstein.
Yep, most likely. I guess the dream scenario for Matt right now. Finding himself in a world where
Kaide's picking up everything, every single safety he can get his hands on.
Is there? Yeah, it's quite unlikely that Matt will get mid-go mode, but there is a potential.
Yeah, right. Kind of depending on what, because right now, right, like for example, like Desert Palace entry is right now still mislocked just because we don't know where the book is. Not that necessarily you want the book in order to get Desert Palace entry, but yes, it is something that's going to be locked out to him. But I mean, for example, if Kaede doesn't find anything here, may not necessarily, that could be a location that Matt just basically just never checks out, because in this case, he will need mitts in order to access this first.
Yeah, Matt's gonna get 4 items with this trip: Catfish, Sword,
Yeah, 4 items, right? 2 in Waterfall, 1 here on Catfish,
I guess that's
and
5 items.
5 items. Waterfall. Oh, Desert. Sorry. Did you see Desert, or did you say
No,
Waterfall?
the Matt's overworld trip here.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have Zora Ledge as well. Yeah.
That's a slick stone throw.
Catfish, in this case, it did not. Just like Left Side Swamp, it is a location that, in some people's minds, do not exist. Alright, looks like just a bunch of safety so far here in Desert. Talk about more safeties. Also, another lesser quality safeties in Waterfall Ferry as well. Oh, Matt. Okay, surely he will not feel bad getting the boots at like an hour into the seed, right? Surely.
Why would you?
Yeah, why would you? Oh, is he gonna get that half magic?
I mean, you still have Master Sword.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, and no silvers. You know what? And Masters or silvers again. Game 1 might have some scarring effects for both Matt and Kaede. So.
And just like having Master Sword.
Yeah, no, I think it's also very useful. The only kind of doubt I was having was, Matt's still kind of boostless, but you know what? He's going to take the extra, like 5 seconds investment? Boostless versus not, and I'm going to pick this up. He has learned his lesson from last game. Alright, but meanwhile, it looks like Kaede, as you're going to go beat Argus here in the back of Desert with the hook shot and Master Sword. I mean, so far I think Desert actually has not had any value in terms of just, I mean, it's had items, but nothing progressive.
Yeah, it doesn't look like.
All right, Matt, where are you going?
Flute to 5. It's a flute to 3. So, are we going? Yeah, we're going to do backup.
Oh no. Well,
I mean, that's
okay.
required,
it could be.
So.
Yeah. Wait, sorry. What's required?
Back of Skullwoods.
He has not done the back of Skullwoods. Gotcha. I thought you meant the back of Thieves Town, and I was like, wait, what's back there?
I mean, honestly, at this point, just looking at the front of Thieves Town, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kaede.
I guess there are 2 items back there too. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, you're absolutely right though. With the fire rod, Matt is absolutely gonna go do get his next crystal. Oh, yes, his next crystal, because Trinex cannot. Well, we already have the ice rod. I think he can kill every boss now, right?
He can kill every boss, yeah.
Yeah.
And Trinex can't even be there, but.
Right. Yeah.
He should be safe here.
Yeah, kind of like the only danger, quote unquote, is, I mean, we do see
an intentional jumping in here. Did he not do this?
Looks like, yeah, maybe he only did the map chest and then he just left. Because he was here, right?
Yeah, I guess he didn't steal the key.
Oh yeah, that could be too. All right, as you maybe actually alluded to the possibility before, Kaede looks like he is going to explore Mire. Again, dungeons of higher value, +2, so Mire's gonna have a potential up to 4 items. Because the maps and compasses are out. We could very well find the cane here as well, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely makes doing front of Mire.
Oh, it's Trinex back here. But I think at this point, and Kaede cannot beat Mire. Actually, we cannot beat it because he's still missing that fire rod. So okay, so the good news, for both Matt and Kaede is that there's gonna be no surprise Trinex upstairs. But the bad news for Kaede is that he still needs to go get that fire rod.
Yeah, so even if we get the cane here, I'm not gonna be able to beat the Mire
also
in one
good
go.
point, yeah. If he gets the cane here, it might incentivize him to maybe dip into like Ice Palace. It's obviously not required, but it does make the traversal a heck of a lot nicer, faster.
Yeah.
That also might push him, to do some of the water checks too, right? Since you're kind of in that area, maybe Hobo, waterfalls, or all that stuff.
Yeah, after finishing Ice Palace. I guess.
Oh, this is also a pendant as well. We have it marked as crystals? Wait, what are the last?
Oh, yeah, I thought.
I am confused now because. Oh, Eastern's a pendant. Eastern's a crystal.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
It was definitely not me shouting out Eastern.
Definitely did not know, but no, we definitely got that corrected. So also really good to know. Okay, so for sure, I believe because we've seen them all now at this point between Matt and Kaede, Ice Palace, the Green Pendant, and then Desert and Mire now are pendants, which means that yeah, we're definitely gonna have to go back and kill the trees. Okay, so that means that at least Matt can go back to Eastern, right, Matt? If you know, yeah.
Yeah, that makes Eastern way better.
Yeah.
In
oh, did Kaede find tempered? Nice.
Yeah, it was in the compass chest.
Okay, well, you know, that's a sword upgrade certainly does make things very, very nice. This may not be the thing that he's looking for. Oh,
yeah, it's gonna be good to have overall.
Oh, for sure.
Not the thing.
Yeah, also looks like though we've got ourselves a Armos on conveyor belts. Actually, one of the more pleasant bosses, honestly, you know, in this arena, just because again, if you kind of like do some of the knockback for the Armos Knights, they can knock him with the spikes, and then, you know. But this actually being potential pendant, I don't know if Matt will actually come here. Man, the whole desert minor area is a pendant? Or pendants? I mean, the fact that like there's tempered in the compass chest of Mire is still pretty good for Kaede, just because, you know, again, is buried pretty deep, right? And of course, the pendant, Matt may not want to come here. Matt is coming straight over here to desert. Oh, because we have the book.
Yeah, that's.
I see.
Has Matt done the map check?
I don't think he's done a light world map check, has he?
Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, in what world you bootsless desert.
He has no map. Yeah, he doesn't. Looks like he doesn't have a map to desert. So it must have been certainly on Kaede's side. So he doesn't know that this is a pendant or a dungeon.
That's fine.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So suddenly, actually, then all the time that basically Kaede kind of took to clear out the front of Pendant Thieves Town or Pendant Thieves Town, Pendant Desert, Matt's gonna kind of give that time, that same amount of time back.
Yeah. Plus a little extra with not having it.
Right. Yeah.
This is definitely one of those dungeons where it's you have a lot of like.
Yeah. No. I mean, right. It's just part of the. Okay. Maybe Matt is just wanting to check the front of Desert.
Yeah, he doesn't have the boots actually, so he's not gonna be.
Oh right, he can't actually. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, dude, I cannot believe I'm saying something good about being bootsless. Thank you, not having boots from Eastern, so Matt does not have to waste his time in Pendant Desert.
This is why I'm surprised he didn't go for Eastern.
Amazing.
It's like Eastern, he knows he can. He knows.
Yeah. All right, yeah, we're gonna have a little chat at the end. You know, I know that, you know, there are some people who maybe, you know, like some memes about, you know, Eastern Palace, you know, here and there. This is not one of those situations. Please go to Eastern. We really need those boosts. Like, and I mean, not only of course,
you skip Eastern when you can't do it, but when you can do it, then.
Yeah, exactly. All right, is this gonna be Eastern for Matt? This is a flute to 5. I am so happy. Alright, so Matt, the good news for Matt is that he's going to be able to get his boots. He is going to be able to beat the dungeon because he does have the ice rod and fire rod, so we're all set. And half magic for that matter, so should be all set for Trinex. We still need... Oh, okay, that's a really... Yeah, and that, which is also mid-slot. Yeah, so right, the other thing for Matt is that he needs to go to King's Tomb, which... that's where his mitts are. Yeah. I am a little worried though that Matt may just like turn straight around, you know, with the boots, and just go straight back to desert because, you know, as we kind of just saw, it was boots locked, and he doesn't have much information about it.
I mean, that makes sense. There's a lot more items in desert, and especially with having like mirror and flute. I can't say it quite as often.
Yeah. Oh, right. We do not have powder on Kaide's side. I was wondering in this case if he wanted to. But yeah, so, right. Finding, in this case, the Kaede Samari for Kaede. I mean, certainly required. Very much so.
Okay,
and the whole... Yeah, almost the entirety of the smith chain is required. I mean, the smith itself wasn't, but yeah, hammer pegs and purple chest especially. We are going to Turtle Rock. So the good news is that Kaede is going to be able to beat the dungeon and get his crystal. Because we know we saw Trinex's 2 already, right?
Yeah, Kaede is going not gonna go out. Realizing
Oh.
that without the fire rod, it's quite unlikely.
Oh, good point. Yeah, alright, that's a good point. He could get locked out very, very quickly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a long trip just to get locked out.
So actually, was that Ether tablet? Oh, Ether tablet. Ether medallion. Was that go mode collectively?
Yeah. So
Awesome.
Kaede needs
Okay.
fire rod, and Matt needs to get the boots to get. Yeah.
If
And,
Matt
and
skipped
Kaede
this
is
cut-
in a very good point here to get go mode soon, because after
Yeah.
Ice Palace, quite likely to just be able to check it out. And
Yeah, yeah, right. So
if he
I
does
was
that,
doing-
then he's gonna be in a super good position.
Yeah, for sure. Like in this case, I don't. So Kaede might be able to find silvers here as well, maybe. That could really help him. But yeah, in terms of actual progression stuff, he won't be able to. Like nothing else is really gonna be able to help him. I was gonna be really, really sad if Matt decided to skip this chest because like I'm just gonna go to whatever, go fight Try next. But I'm so glad that he didn't, and we're gonna get the boots on Matt's side. Like 50-some minute odd difference basically between himself and Kaede. Yeah, but at least,
I guess
right,
that's both the beautiful thing with this game.
Yeah.
Part of it.
We just need more things to start with boots. That's all I can say. This type of difference, you know, I mean, you never feel great about finding boots in a, I guess like a, you know, whatever sphere 1, sphere 2 location, you know, especially in Eastern where, you know, we had the lamp early, but it's still even so. We had to play a whole hour basically on Matt's side without the boots. I have no idea. Actually, I didn't quite catch what was in Colster. Was it vanilla? Vanilla Colster? I didn't quite catch it, but
me neither.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna find out very soon.
Did Kaede actually do a check for it?
Yeah, he did. I saw the map check in the dungeon. I just didn't quite catch what was on the bottom.
Because he can beat any boss outside of Trinex.
Yeah.
Should know at this point that there's no more Trinex.
Right. That is also what I think, but I guess we don't know for sure.
Maybe he wanted to make sure, like.
It's possible maybe he wants to, I guess, maybe like prepare himself, right? You know, very often muscle memory just basically says, you know, we're gonna peg down the, whatever, hammer down the pegs and then just switch over to like Bobos in this case, right? But maybe he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
All right, so certainly, you know, if you're rooting for, well, okay, so Matt, while it is, he does have a little bit of ground to make up. He is certainly not maybe as far as it looks, I guess, maybe depending on perspective. He has still made a lot of progress. He just needs to go over to King's Tomb to go get his mitts and then do Smith Chain, which I guess, you know, can be a bit more of a stuff to ask, given that he is kind of like on a deadline. But you know,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you got mitts at this point, what would you do first?
I got missed.
I'm
I would go check
guessing-
fire. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm guessing like heading to
Ooh,
Smith
we are saving and quitting?
Oh, this is actually really good.
Is
We
this,
get
is this,
mitts.
are these boost checks?
Yeah, that has to be.
Oh, dude.
Otherwise, you don't save and quit there.
Suddenly, it's not looking as dire.
Oh, okay. No.
We are.
Oh, actually, yeah, because you
near?
have to do it. You have to do it with.
Well, maybe he's
Stupid,
planning on
because
putting
I'm
away.
thinking he could just go straight here. No, he actually has to be in the dark.
Oh yeah,
Like King's Tomb. So that makes King's Tomb actually wait.
Yeah, maybe in this case he. Oh, we're gonna check lumberjack. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, probably,
dude! There's
I'm
a.
guessing checking lumberjack and then heading back to.
Yeah, maybe there's gonna be some fast boost checks. By the way, so yeah, Kaede took care of vanilla cold stare. We also found gold sword. Not gonna really be much value for Kaede, but given that we have seen where the other two swords are on Matt's side, it is not sure how likely the prospects of Matt getting tempered sword is going to be. I mean, he might end up going into Mire, kind of on this. Oh no, he can't because we're gonna go do desert first. He can see that it's a pendant. But looks like because Kaede is gonna go to Hobo, this is gonna be go mode for Kaede. Very, very
Yeah,
soon.
this is gonna be go mode, and gonna have like 2 really quick dungeons to complete, and then just finishing up the rock before heading to against.
Yeah.
So that looks extremely like an extremely good situation or position for Kaede to be.
Yeah, no, the fact that the fact that we have Gold Sword on Kaide's, I mean, again, you know, he doesn't need Gold Sword, but we are gonna fight 2 Trinex. Oh, we're gonna fight at least 1 Trinex in Eastern. We are gonna fight, I guess, like almost in the back, but Trinex with Gold Sword is significantly easier. Especially when you can't really do backdoor either. You just kind of have to like slash from the beginning, or sorry, from the front, and you're really not gonna complain, right? So. But yeah. So at this point, it's well, even if Matt kind of finishes out the scene, or at least in the time that Kaede takes to finish, I'm not sure if he's gonna get. I'm not sure if he's gonna get Tempered Sword. Because yeah, again, Matt needs to go get his mitts from King's Tomb, which, as you pointed out, Walter, we have to go to the Dark World because if mitts are in King's Tomb, you absolutely have to be in the Dark World to mirror over. You cannot go there in the Light World.
Yeah, I was thinking the entire scene that it was just shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time Matt finishes desert here, Kaede is inside of
Okay, maybe the map to desert was just in desert somewhere then, maybe?
It might have been, yeah. We've seen
yeah.
a couple of vanilla maps already.
Yeah, right. One was Skullwoods for sure, right? And then because we saw that Kaede side.
And I think Harrow had a vanilla one as well.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, well. Kaide's also kind of demonstrating that the spikes work both directions. Like, if you get knocked into the spike, you also take damage. But I think this is, he does have red mail. So maybe he, you know, he's certainly playing like he has red mail.
I like this. Just use that green potion.
Okay, yeah. All right. So chat is.
Kane is gonna hit them, and then gonna hit them up into the spike. Yeah. I don't think Armors has any.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Also, yeah. Chat bringing up. Okay, that's right. We saw desert map in Bonkrock, so it looks like because the first time Matt came here, he definitely did not have the map, but now he's here with a pendant. Not that I think probably matters to him at this point. All right, so where in this case does Matt have available to? Because, you know, so the good thing about mitts, or like being basically the mitts having be like your barrier to progression is that it does still lock you out of a good amount of stuff. He cannot do, let's say, Ice Palace, Mire, or Turtle Rock for that matter. He's locked out of all of Dark Death Mountain. So the good news is that he could be funneled into doing King's Tomb.
Yeah, I think he has like tablets, spike cave. That's about
it. He has spike cave, right? Yeah, it's also a good point. We have a shovel check. That's right. We saw Kaede do this earlier. Yeah, and I think you are correct. Right. So we had not seen any tablets. I think on either side. Right. Because we got the book in the back of Skullwoods, and just really didn't have much more of an opportunity to go to a tablet after that.
Petition to move one of the tablets to graveyard.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, but let's actually, I think you're right though. In terms of high density, is high quote unquote, relatively speaking, either tablet plus spike cave looks like a pretty good bet for Matt. But I mean, like it's again though, like there are once you kind of get the book, especially in a late book, you just get a lot of like scattered checks that you kind of have to go back and do.
Yeah. So it looks like we're getting one tablet check here into Spike Cave. Kaede is gonna head back here, beat Trinex, and then it's just up to
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah.
I actually found like a super clean route. See it. Like the only detours that did have was through my and Ice Palace and Desert, I guess. But like even those like Ice Palace and so
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. As you mentioned, like Kaede had the boots, and then also had King Samaria for Ice Palace, right? So like he didn't really spend like all that much time, for his endeavors, right? Like he also went into Mire, but he got 2 swords out of it, right? So it's not like
yeah.
he came out completely empty-handed.
Mhm.
I mean, he may not have felt great in this case about, doing all of Ice Palace and then going to Hobo and be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I guess my go mode is just here. I didn't have to go beat an entire dungeon. But, still, it's...
I think it's hard, like Kaede might feel behind, but I think it's hard to like feel too behind and have a route like this.
Mhm.
Like even the intentional skips that were made.
Yeah, oh, that's actually a really good point as well. Yeah, that's right. Kaede ended up leaving actually not a lot of holes, right? But for example, he skipped out on left side swamp, which well, oh my gosh, Matt's there is no fairy, correct?
No.
Matt's, yeah, he definitely just got bodied there, and man, that is so sad. Alright, well, we're gonna just try again.
Yeah.
He's still on green mail because Mire Shed and Race Game has both armors, and oh man, unfortunately he has not been. I mean, he's voluntarily skipped Mace Race, but yeah, he can't get to Mire Shed. But yeah, but in this case, like, Kaede skipped out on 3 items in Swamp, right? Big Chest and Left Side Swamp, completely. That ended up tabbing, I think, what, 40 rupees and 3 bombs? I mean, especially, contrary to Matt, who did not have boots, also doing this, went back into Swamp Palace, like, regardless, because the key was on the boss. So, like, it's just, like, a lot of time, right? And then, of course, in addition to all of the 50 whatever minutes that Kaede had the boots over Matt, it's quite rough. Okay, this looks like last location Kingstone for Matt, is that right? Oh, pedestal check maybe?
I don't think he just has to take the long way around for...
Yeah. I guess actually, yeah, I think maybe there's can't be anything, I guess, on the pedestal that can help him, because he's looking, well, I guess maybe Ether? That's
Yeah,
kind of
it would be Ether, but like at this point you can't even complete pedestal. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like Matt is gonna go for the
It is a really...
The only thing he didn't do back of his...
Yeah. What do you think he's gonna do next? So you think he's gonna go over to Mire?
Probably not do the full Smith chain.
That is, unfortunately, I will have to tend to agree with you. I think, so obviously, like, Miz does open up quite a bit. I don't remember if he has knowledge of Mire. Turtle Rock honestly might be, a location for him, because he has everything, right? No, he knows. Oh, you're right. Yeah, he may not be able to get in, but he doesn't know that, right? Because he just got the mitts, so he has 2 medallions. Like, he might just go up there for Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, especially if you get like Kane up there as well. Like.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah, he's also kind
of Matt's gonna get blue mail at least.
Yeah, right after he, unfortunately got bodied by Ropas. Aww. Yeah, but meanwhile, though, Kaede, though, armed with basically everything, we don't even care what the boss is at this point to try in Trinex's arena. Though we're just gonna. It's not quite the whole like key sanity, just run through the rest of the dungeon with the opening chest. We still have to go get the chest. Oh my gosh, and there are silvers into the rug. Oh my gosh. All right, so Kaede, I think is just set for.
Yeah. No, you definitely don't need to check anything. Like, I don't think Kaede was gonna go out of her way to check some extra stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like now, there's literally no reason. Right, so Matt did just do a quick overall check there in the Mire area, and now heading up the mountain. So it's gonna get the
yeah.
information about Ether.
Yeah, and also like Dark Defense, it's just very dense too, right? We have Super
Mhm.
Bunny, you know, we have Hookshot Cave, you know. So I think they already took a peek on Floating Islands, so that's gonna not be the thing. Yeah, and then like Cadence of Mires is up here, which is also very reasonable, you know, that it could just be in one of these 6 locations.
Mhm.
From Matt's perspective, then we can basically just go and clear out the entirety, you know, of
Yeah,
the
because
rock.
in Matt's shoes, now let me Matt's shoes, I can see where he would feel behind here, like getting those boots so late, and then those boots also blocking. Like that probably doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that also, you know, there's a certain amount of like, you know, game rot, I guess, or whatnot, where I just, you know, if you're really hoping for those boosts and you're playing basically an hour in, you know, you maybe get a bit more exhausted, you know, and then also in addition, you end up finding out like, you know, it's kind of like one thing you play like an hour and 30 without boots, and then you find them in like GT or something, right? And you're just like, okay, well, the seed, you know, is, you know, obviously had a very bad placement. But then if you find them in like a kind of like an early-ish location, you kind of don't feel very good, right? Because like I could have had that, you know, 40 minutes ago or something like that. And then
Yeah.
that's when you kind of like really gotta limit the like the mental, you know, like the mental rabbit holes, because there's nothing constructive that's gonna come out of those.
Mhm. Yeah, and at this point, like even if he goes and finds everything he needs, like he's still gonna be quite far behind.
Yeah, he
So
certainly still has. Yeah, he has to go through all of Turtle Rock, essentially, which is where Kaede is right now. But in addition, right, he also needs to climb the mountain again. And as you
yeah,
mentioned, right, with the myths, Mire might be a viable stop. Ice Palace, you know, it might be also be a viable step. You know, you like you mentioned very on in this mode, dungeons have higher value. You know, the Smith chain is, I guess, 3 items, right? And
yeah.
it's not, you know, like but you know what? If that's where Matt's going, I have zero questions.
It looks like is where he's going.
That's great news for Matt.
So he just skipped all of the dungeons
Yeah, that's
that was
great.
that just opened up. So yeah, it's good. It's probably too late by now, but
Yeah, right. Kaede is basically on our way to whatever the boss is here at Trinex, and or the Trinex location. Even though, you know, don't let the mat fool you. Sorry, no pun intended. I meant like the doormat that showed that it was going to be
yeah,
Trinex
yeah,
with
yeah.
three heads. It turns out it's only just one, but it's just slightly like illusion because the more you fight him, the more heads it spawns. It turns out it is actually 3 heads. So maybe it's actually, you know, accurate after all.
It makes sense.
Yeah. See, it's just there's just this like pesky ghostly body in the way. It's still 3-headed. But yeah, so that with that though, Kaede 7 crystals in, we are gonna be on our way to go to GT. So he just has one more thing that he's gonna go find in GT before basically heading upstairs, and is in true quote unquote go mode.
Right. What bosses do you think we're gonna get?
So okay, so if I had been paying attention through the entirety of the scene, I think we have at least some amount of process of elimination where maybe we can take a guess, and a more educated guess as to what bosses could be upstairs or even in the ice arena. So
Yeah.
we've already seen 2 Armoses and we've seen 2 Trinexes, so for sure those can't be here.
Yep. We haven't seen any Lamolas or Helmos, I think.
That is a good point. So right, we saw Mothula and Hera. We saw, what did we see in Desert? Argus? Argus, yeah.
Oh yeah, Argus. Or go mode for Matt.
Yeah, that's right. We got purple chest, and so I mean, really good decision on Matt's side. So, but as I think you kind of
That's
observed,
a super early big key.
it is, yes. Matt has an entirety of the mountain plus Turtle Rock in order to finish up before Kaede. You know, while Kaede, you know, is basically gonna head up to GT like immediately now after he steals this key. Looks like though Kaede, yeah, hope room first kind of guy. So, all right. So what
kind of guy is Matt? Is Matt a hope room first?
Matt is definitely he goes by the Boyne route, you know, which is also very common among many Darklink users, which is Stalfos from first. into right side, so you can get a guaranteed small key in order to go do compass chest or compass room.
So is that like the edgy route?
That's the what?
Darklings going that
Yeah,
route? The
yes.
edgy one?
Yes, that's right. Alright, Matt's gonna come into Turtle Rock, so he's gonna find his free silvers, which he is gonna be, by the way, pretty happy to see at this point. We know, of course, from Kaide's side that the other two swords he will not ever see the light of day. One is in the compass chest of Pendant Mire, the other one is in on Colstair, actual Colstair in Ice Palace itself. So having silvers, at least, you know, for this potential fight, is going to be quite nice for Matt. Especially, he probably doesn't want to do another Master Sword Silverless fight especially after yesterday. So. Yeah, kind of also another nice difference for Kaede though. You know, while he doesn't need the gold sword because temper sword is sufficient, but just having that extra sword means that he can also just kill everything in one shot. You know, Master Sword doesn't let you kill Zyzax in one.
Yep. It's always a good feeling. You like this part of the game you're supposed to feel invincible. It's nice when the game actually starts.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. We have looks like our first Helmasaur. Maybe we'll get double Helmasaur. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? You know, here and then. We're also, you know, so yeah, do you remember when Matt also used Cane of Burna in the back of Pod for Vitreous, and we kind of saw that there was a lot of Vitreous content? We're getting the same effect though, but just like less pretty, because the Medusa that's shooting the fireball is not as sparkly as the Burna circles.
And I mean, if we get another Helmasaur, the top of the we could get some potential. Like probably one of the more trickier fights because it's kind of easy to fall down.
Yes. No, that's definitely very true. I mean, we kind of already seen. So one of the subtleties, I guess, about Helmasaur being in the back of Pod in like a very small, you know, enclosed space, it is that like Helmasaur, I guess, even when you knock back, you have a lot of space in the back, right, to kind of like keep you there. And yeah, suddenly that space is shrunk, and now you have no guardrails. The knockback from Helmasaur is quite significant. So it's just very easy to basically fall. You talk about Moldorm falls, you know, you talk about Helma falls, so those are much more common.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you just get something, you know, easy peasy. Mothula, for example, would be something that I think Kaede would take 2 swaps, you know, at him or something, and then, you know. I believe also Kaede is at least competent enough to do some amount of hovering, at least starting in a pinch, maybe. So he could also give that a whirl if he is feeling up to it. We kind of saw him, at least in game 1, trying to, like, once he got the big key in Mire off of the bitch chest, he was at least willing to make an attempt to hover, and he got pretty far before kind of unfortunately falling off. But we just got Mothula today, so we don't have to wait or worry. Dang sword beans.
Yeah, I was about to say free fight, but yeah. I mean, still free. But
Oh yeah. But Kaede at this point, he has. I mean, what potions did we even pick up? Green potion, maybe a blue potion somewhere. He's got red mail.
Green one. Used a green.
Oh right. Oh right. Yeah. That's right.
Definitely
he used it.
Has a blue.
Yeah, he used it on Armos when I think in the maybe in the back of Skullwoods.
So yeah, do you think that like in boss shuffle, do you think that this fight should be?
So I don't know if it's actually like technically possible in order to shuffle out Aghanim, but I would actually very much love to see Aga 1 and Aga 2 shuffled into the mix. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. What would be the worst, or like?
That would be the worst for what? Sorry.
The worst arena, boss arena to fight Aghanim in.
Oh, I'm thinking. Maybe ice? I feel like you want to like get in some sort of position in order to try and like reflect things, right?
Yeah.
And I guess maybe it depends on how good you are maneuvering the ice, but it feels like that's even harder for you to in order to kind of get a footing.
Oh yeah.
Then again, like the Vitreous arena also would not be very pleasant just because you suddenly cannot move onto some of the terrain just because it, you have to take damage, right?
Yeah, you can't get close.
Yeah.
This gold sword is just
Yeah, gold sword is
destroying.
I guess. Yeah. Maybe they should have locked the gold sword behind Trinex and Mire or something like right because in the vanilla game, right, you have 5 and 6, right, and then you can use the gold sword to beat Trinex, but Trinex becomes kind of a pushover, right, when you use the gold sword on him.
Double to begin here.
Oh,
Like that,
okay.
just release control when you get hit.
Yes, very, very good on Kaede's side because the last thing he wants to do happen is take another unfortunate occurrence on Ganon, but get your GGs out in chat for Kaede. He is going to take a victory in a 2-0 clean sweep over matt7898 in the second round of 32 in the main tournament. He is going to punch his ticket into the next round of the brackets for top 16. Alright, meanwhile though, Matt has entered in this case GT, not in this case sure if he's going to finish, but yeah, as we evidence this, he is definitely a Stalfos room kind of guy, Stalfos into Hope room. But yeah, really nice job.
Super clean round.
Oh yeah, by Kaede. I think he did extremely well.
Yeah. And like not just like getting the correct round.
Yeah, I mean, like, so Kaede's sequencing was, especially in the early game, was very, very good. I mean, but also his execution, he's just been playing, very well, basically. Nothing really that you can end up, I guess, like, picking faults at. Speaking of, we are here joined by today's winner, Kaede, who is moving on to the round of 16. Congratulations, GG's.
Thank you, GG's.
Actually, maybe looks like Matt has actually indeed put in a forfeit. So definitely get your G's out for Matt. Had a heck of a tournament run. Game 1 was certainly very heartbreaking for Matt. Looks like in this case we just did not unfortunately have the right set of items in his path this time. We are also joined here by Matt. GG's, Matt.
GG's.
So, Kaede, how did you feel? I guess we can start with you. How did you feel when you found the boots? Was that like a conscious decision to go into Eastern after, like, you didn't want to go somewhere else with a hammer?
I realized it was really good, but really late on in the set. Like, the 50-50 between Easter and Escape early on, I did not realize about that until almost the end. So I know I was okay, like, okay, boots, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, this is it worked out super
Yeah, I mean,
well for
obviously
you, right?
it's extremely good because boots early on, like, it's the best item in the game. So obviously, I was really happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess maybe just as a point of contrast, I think so. I don't remember at the exact point when you got boost, but it was pretty early, like maybe like 15-20 minutes at the mark, and then Matt
Yeah.
unfortunately hit the hour mark before he ended up getting the boost, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, but again, quite the contrast in terms of time difference, right? And you ended up doing a lot of the dungeons with boots, but yeah, also I think just with how boots were sequenced, boots where I mean so you needed boots when you went to King's Tomb, right, in the Dark World in order to get your mitts, and then of course you needed to go do Smith Chain, right? So like the fact you had the boots like when you did was also very beneficial.
Yeah, maybe I mean, yeah, this is random, but having out of logic the fire rod, for example, early on could have been a potential early try next there. after doing pot, I guess. But it was, I don't know. It's really complicated to think about this.
Yeah,
But
no, Oh, go ahead.
knowing that there's, I mean, in match situation, I guess that finding a lot of stuff in escape, like the flute and hookshot, you go and rush the mountain. So it's reasonable. He had to play aggressive, I guess, but I don't know. It sometimes happens that it doesn't work, but sometimes it does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it certainly seemed like, because like you skipped you left 3 items in swap too, right?
Yeah, I skipped left side swam.
Mm-hmm.
I skipped Hera basement because I'm dumb. That's the only thing I was really worried about. I forgot about the lamp, so I skipped
Oh, I
that.
see. I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
amazing.
You know,
Um,
it didn't punish you this time, so you
yeah,
know.
at least. And Thieves Town, Deep Thieves Town. I just went for the boss and left it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one's probably more, I guess, acceptable as part of today's meta to just skip the back of Thieves Town if you've already, you know, got your share at the beginning. But yeah, so I guess like maybe we can ask Matt. I don't know, like, so I understand it may not feel the greatest in order to see those boots at the hour mark, but like, were I guess like, did you feel, I guess, like worse than normal? I guess when you found the boots, or were you worried at all? I think if you are talking, you are on mute, Matt.
Yeah, it was the mitts that was bad, right? Not necessarily the
Yeah.
boot, because I don't know, like I could have gone to Eastern after pod, but at that point it was 50-50 for me that Eastern was a pendant, and Eastern could have and did contain a boss that I could not kill at the time, so it wasn't the most attractive option. So then I went to Thieves Town, and that gave me Swamp, and that gave me. Then I could ride up to Pyramid Ferry. Then I got the Fire Rod, and I unlocked Skull Woods. So I went to Skull Woods before Easter, and just like maybe hoping to get the information or find the mitts. But yeah, I mean, if you get the boots early, the seat's free, right? There's no way I ever beat a route that goes into Eastern before Dark World, and like when I got the hammer pre Dark World, I was like, I think I might go into Escape, because yesterday Kaede had a fully clearable Eastern Palace pre Dark World and didn't enter it. So I was like, well, I kind of assumed they wouldn't enter a non-clearable Eastern anyway, so I didn't really feel too bad about going to Escape that had a lot more items in Logic, because I had both the lamp and it was fairly likely the key was there.
Yeah, no, I
that
think that's
was
actually very simple.
the thought process behind all of that.
Yeah, I mean, like I just think that like both you know like everyone's decisions was also just very reasonable. It just happens to be right. Just kind of feel like the impact basically of, you know, not having like one runner having boost for 45 minutes, and then, you know, the other one doesn't, unfortunately. But yeah, right, because like in this case, like if you had the boost early, you definitely were able to noticeably get your mitts earlier. Because as opposed to, I think what happened with you is, you know, because you had to go into the Dark World in order to get King's Tomb, right? It's just like a super awkward, you know, spot basically, right? And it's kind of only really in these situations.
The only problem with that is that I had so little stuff left, and I can't go to King's Tomb without going back to Thieves Town, is the problem. And so like all the other options were more attractive. The combination of Ether Tablet and Spike Cave, completing Pendant Desert. So all of those things were better than King's Tomb, which if it's not there, which it was very likely that it was not there, then I have to go back to Thieves Town at that point. And then I'm just, again, going back to something I've skipped when I have other options of things that I didn't have an opportunity to go to previously.
No, I mean that's. I mean, I think it's. Yeah, and like that's also kind of like maybe like the less appealing option is that yeah we were thinking like if you had gone basically like we need you to King's Doom right, but then like you know it's just kind of like a one off and you really want to combine it with something. It's like what are you gonna combine it with? Not Smith Chain because you don't miss. It's like front of Thieves Town or back of Thieves Town. That doesn't look very appealing either, you know. So yeah, we were definitely maybe a bit worried. But it's, I mean, but I can yeah.
It was obviously perfectly reasonable to go Eastern before Escape, right? I even thought about doing it because you pull your hammer out of Saucerville. I think that was what was there, right?
Yep,
And you don't really have anything, right? All you have is either 3 items in Eastern, potentially, in Logic, or Escape, which could be because the key's in the back. Then it could be only 2 items in Logic, right? So like it's fine. And so by the time I got the boots. The Miss being in King's Tomb was not exactly high on my list of things that I wanted to happen in my life. So that was kind of going to be a close to the last location anyway. Like finding that book, Block Behind the Fire Rod, it would be real nice if those mitts were on the desert boss
the tablet.
or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Bombo's tablet even. Because it was you couldn't have the fire rod on your first. Where was the fire rod? Was it on Pyramid or was it in Pyramid Ferry?
Hobo.
Hobo.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah,
That was in
on the
Hobo,
way.
yes.
Yeah, so like I guess you could have had the fire rod early as well and gotten that book too, but fake flippering in without boots is like I mean who's gonna do that? So yeah, I knew it was on that sequence, right? Because I took the bomb and went to Hobo and did all that stuff. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess like this is this is the end of the tournament for you. Any thoughts about on your exit on the tournament itself?
I mean, I made one mistake yesterday, and I kind of deserved to lose because of that. So, I mean, I'm fine with it. I was getting kind of is scheduling all these matches, and like it's like the summer now, so it's like kind of eating up a lot of my time that I don't really want to have eaten up. So I'm good with whatever. I was gonna be happy either way.
Sounds good. I mean, I think you still played very well, throughout the series. Yesterday, at least you found silver today, right?
Yes,
No more.
yeah, I've never used them though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Did you
Both
know where the
swords
other?
were in boss pendants. One in Ice Boss and the other one in Mire.
Yeah, one was on
Okay.
Cold Stare, like vanilla Cold Stare, and then one was in Mire Compass Just. I was just like, yeah, I don't think Matt's getting those.
No.
Meanwhile, Kaede, fully decked out, right? Red mail, silvers, gold sword, mirror shield, like.
Even
14 plants.
powder in Turtle
yeah.
Rock.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had powder as well. Yeah, you didn't get half magic on Zora Ledge. That was the only safety Matt had over you. But yeah, I guess like Kaede, so this means that you get to move on to the round of 16. Congratulations. You are gonna looks at the bracket, you are facing Lin. Any thoughts? Initial impressions?
I don't know. I will keep playing like I played yesterday and today, without making mistakes. Like just
Okay,
be
so find a
myself
sword.
and go straight and go straight forward. And don't be not being ashamed or scary of anyone.
Yeah,
I know
no.
everyone is really good here, but you never know. You just have to play it.
Yeah, I mean, this is especially you get to like the further on brackets. I mean, even at this stage or even the stages before. I mean, the skill differences between rando the people basically in this tournament is just so is very difficult to distinguish. I mean, really, I think Matt said this before. Anybody can beat anybody. I mean, it's rando, right? It happens.
Yeah, obviously there are some differences. Like in this matchup, Matt was better at me on overall in execution, for example. So I had to do some stuff aggressive. So, for example.
You just gotta find the boots faster than that, which you were successful in. So, but yeah, best of luck moving forward in the tournament. And I think Linson, I think he's also in the EU somewhere. So hopefully scheduling won't be as terrible.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts, I guess, from you guys? Walter, do you have any questions? I feel like I've been talking the whole time.
I think you pointed out most of the things.
All right, yeah. Oh yeah. Any other thoughts then from you guys before we kind of like wrap things up?
No, just thanks for the comms in the stream. GG Kaede, good luck in the next round.
Yeah, thank you. GG's to you too, Matt. And thanks for the stream and the tracking as always. Really appreciate it. And see you on the next one.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, both guys, for racing. It was definitely very, very interesting and spicy seed for sure. So, a lot of fun. And yes, Kaede, definitely best of luck, for you for moving on to the round of 16 versus Lynn. I also want to thank our amazing and wonderful tracker, Sammy, clicking everything. I know things were a little bit slow at the beginning, but she kept up with everything at the end. So, awesome. Everything was always accurate, kept us all honest. So thank you so much. Definitely looking forward to the next time. And Walter, this was a pleasure. I'm really glad to be able to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a lot of fun. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to hear your voice, in some of the upcoming commentary as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, so I guess in terms of other races, I guess I count on today. So there is one currently going on, a Humbug versus Plasma Kappa. That is on SG3. That is a game 3, so it should be actually pretty exciting. And then tonight at 9:40 p.m. it is going to be Telethar versus GGW on SpeedGaming main. So some pretty good, tough matchups. Should be quite exciting. Until then, they'll have a great rest of your day for the weekend.